Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel if you are new. I have a very bare face right now because I am going to be doing my makeup. I'm going to do makeup tips for fair skin. This was very well requested on Instagram. I didn't really realise there were so many tips that I could give for people with fair skin that I do, and then I started doing my makeup and I was like, oh yeah, actually that's a good one. Okay, I'll make a YouTube video. So here we are, I'm making a YouTube video. I have you propped up by my window because I wanted the natural light on my face, so bear with me. So little disclaimer, I do self tan, so I use the Isle of Paradise self tanning drops on my face. I either put them with moisturiser for like a fairer colour like this, where I'm literally just like one shade less pale, or just put them directly on my face without mixing with moisturiser, and I go a little bit darker that way. So for so long now, since I was travelling actually, I've been using this. It's called Glow Cherie, it's by L'Oreal, it's literally like a £5 or something, and it's basically just like a bronzy highlight. I have it in the darkest shade. It's called Deep Glow. Basically found this when we were travelling because we didn't want to be wearing foundation and we wanted just some kind of colour on our face, but I love it so much I cannot stop wearing it. So with this and my foundation, I literally squeeze it straight onto my face because I don't like getting it on my hands. So then I use the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Foundation SPF 40. It's basically a really sheer foundation. It does give, like, you can build it up and get a good coverage, but personally I think, especially if you have freckles, I don't really have freckles as you can see, but if you do have freckles, go for a sheer foundation 100%. And in general, I personally think a sheer foundation looks better. If you need that extra coverage, get a thicker concealer. I'm going to show you one in a minute. But wearing a really thick foundation on your face, 1, it's not comfortable, 2, it's not good for your skin, 3, it doesn't look good. You just look like you've caked it on, and I think the older you get, the more you realise that. When you're younger, you maybe think that it looks better, but it really doesn't. Anyway, so basically this one is quite fair, and I just use this one colour, and then, like I say, I kind of change the colour with this Glow Cherie. I again squeeze this straight onto my face. Nearly missed my face then. And I literally mix it in on my face. You can kind of see where the Glow Cherie just makes it a little bit darker. And also I just think when you're fair, it's really nice to have a nice glow. I just personally like a dewier look. Always blend all the way down your neck to literally like blend it all the way down here. Okay, so next up, concealer. Concealer is such an issue for people with fair skin. Let's be real, it's so hard to find the right concealer. For years and years I used this one. This is called Lasting Perfection Collection Concealer. Everything's going to be linked down below, by the way, guys, but I do still use this one, but I just have another one that I use as well. But this is about $4.99, maybe $5.99 from Boots or Superdrug. It's so good. You get it in fair if you are fair like me. It gives such good coverage, and like I said, it's just so cheap, so it's just great. I literally get like 2 or 3 at a time, and it lasts me months on end. However, more recently I've started using the Revolution Pro Ultimate Coverage Crease Proof Concealer, because if you're fair, usually, like myself, you can see your dark circles under your eyes more than if you are tanned, or when you fake tan you'll probably notice that they disappear a little bit. It's just because your skin is so fair that you can see underneath your skin essentially. So I tend to go for quite a thick concealer to go under my eyes to cover that up. This is the thickest concealer you will ever come to know. It's also super cheap, but it is literally like cement. I can't even describe it. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so thick. You literally need the tiniest bit, and then you just dab it on. Really good concealer, and I think it's something like $7.99. I'm wearing it in the shade C6 for reference. And then I blend it down around my nose, because again, if you've got fair skin, you can see your like capillaries around your nose, and you get like a darker line just around there. So the next tip, so that you don't look dirty with bronzer, is you want to powder first, because that way your bronzer spreads more evenly. You get way more of an even blend. I just use the classic Laura Mercier translucent setting powder that everyone has because it is so good. But what I do is I basically get the lid, put a little bit in, and tap almost everything off, because I literally just want the tiniest bit So I'll use this now to set around my jaw where I've just put loads of concealer. Then I will do my cheeks where I'm about to put my bronzer, and I will dab it on my forehead. As you can see, it's not like fully getting rid of all shine because I don't want a fully matte look. With under eyes, I would just look up, tap 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 all along the waterlines to make sure that it's not settled into any creases. So I just realised I was out of focus then, how annoying. But yeah, just tap first to blend any concealer out of your lines, and then look up and set that. So I have two bronzers to recommend to you. The first one is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Style Bronze and Glow, and it's obviously comes in a little set like this. So you get the highlighter. The highlighter is super subtle. Really love this because personally I don't think a strong highlight looks that good anymore. It's just my personal preference. I've gone off it a little bit, just like a little subtle glow. And this bronzer shade is really soft, so if you are really fair, this is a really good shade. It's also not orange. As you can see, it's a really cool tone, so it's great for contouring but also just not looking orange, which is just not what we want, is it? Recently I got this one from MAC, which again is a really nice cool toned. It's a lot darker and it's a lot more pigmented, so you really need a tiny bit, but if you want to be slightly more bronze, this is great for that. So this is what I'm going to use today. So as I said, it's super pigmented, so I wouldn't take a lot. And then always go like a little bit higher than you think your cheekbones are, and start with just like drawing a line essentially, and then I just blend it out. If you did want more of a contour, you could get a smaller brush and then just deepen like the actual contour lines and blend that out. Also, if you have a big forehead like me, I always do the top of my forehead. Basically anywhere you put a bronzy colour or kind of contoury colour will bring everything in. So obviously for your cheekbones, it makes your cheeks look sucked in. For your forehead, it makes your forehead look smaller. And then if you do sides of your nose, it brings your nose, like makes your nose look smaller, narrower. So just like do it according to your face shape. I think that's so important. People tend to just copy where everyone else puts it, but actually if you've got a small forehead, do not put it on your forehead because it's not gonna look good for you. I then do my jaw because I don't have much of a jaw. Like I don't have a defined jaw, which I hate. So we just define that a little bit and then blend it down. Sometimes I literally blend it all the way down my chest, depending on how well my fake tan has taken to my chest. Next tip for fair skin is I would say always like use blusher. It's just for fair skin, it just like brings your face back alive. Because you're quite pale, you need to like bring some life back into your face. And I honestly, like when I was younger, I used to think blush was for old women, and since I started using it, I cannot go back. It just changes your face. It's so, I think it's just so pretty. This one is by Too Faced. It's called the Perfect Flush Blush in Peach Bee, but it's got a bit of a shimmer, which I really like. I just think add to the glow, give a really nice peachy colour. Not too much. I think there's a fine line. Just personally for me, I don't like to do intense, so I actually use this brush, which you can see is very like not dense. What's the opposite of dense? I don't know. So I'm just gonna get a little bit on that brush and I squeeze it so that it's more narrow, and then I just do the top of my cheekbones and kind of just like blend it around. For my nose, I use like literally a pointed, I think this is a lip and concealer brush, and I personally love highlighting this little bit here. I just think it looks so nice. I'm gonna blend that, don't worry. And then the tip of my nose, but the reason I use such a small one is because you want it to be so precise, because if you start blending out, you're essentially making your nose look wider, and you want it to look like a tiny little dot, so that that's where the light hits and that makes it narrower. So I then draw the little line up, also do top of lip. I sometimes contour my nose, but well, okay, I'll contour my nose now just to show you how I would do it. So basically I take an eyeshadow brush, make sure that it is clean though. I have one that I use specifically for contouring. I'm gonna use this because it's a lighter shade, and then literally just really carefully go down the edges where you would want your nose to kind of like have the edges. So make sure you're not doing it too wide, because all you're going to do is widen your nose, and it's literally different for everybody's nose, so you have to just trial and error on your own nose. Next up is brows, and this is literally my most asked question ever on my Instagram. So I
cannot give any big secrets away because I literally use a brown pencil. Obviously if you have brown eyebrows, then this is just like irrelevant, this little section of the video. But if you have similar hair colour to me and you want a warmer brow, all I do is I tint my eyebrows with the Eyelure brow tint. I'm going to leave it linked below, that might not be the exact name, but it's the brow tint by Eyelure and it's in a dark brown. And I just leave it on for literally like a minute and a half, and that way they don't go super brown. They kind of like, they are brown but they're like a warmer brown. And then, sorry, they're a bit of a mess, but then because I have like a scar here and my brows are all over the shop, they're not like tidy, or they don't sort of grow in a nice neat brow shape. I have to fill them in. So I literally just use, this is the Define It brow pencil in medium by Eyelure, by Eyeko, sorry, and I just use that. However, for people who are after something for like a warmer brow, I can definitely recommend this. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in Auburn. It looks like a dark brown, but it comes out a very warm brown. So that's also great, and all you need is just like one of these angled pencils, and then you just fill them in like that. Sometimes I do that, but most of the time I just use the pencil. So that's what I'm going to use now. All I will say is, for brows, my top tip is brush them up, and if your brows are too long or if they don't look right, just give them a trim, because always brush them up. Essentially, they're just going to look so much better. And a spoolie is your best friend, especially if you're like me and you've got warm brows and you're using a brown pencil. Blend with the spoolie. Like, it's literally the biggest top tip. So I just kind of draw under the line here, and then down the tail. I need a mirror so that I can see what I'm doing. So just draw like really softly. And then at the front, like, do the strokes as though it's your hair brushing up. And that's literally what I do. This one over here is more tricky because I've got a chickenpox scar at the front of my eyebrow and no hair grows there. So I have to like press a little bit harder and fill it in. It's literally the bane of my life. It never quite looks right, but it is what it is. I honestly can't deal with this camera. It goes in and out of focus like nobody's business. And I just brush up the front. And then with this one I'll blend it a little bit more at the front where I've just drawn in quite a lot. And then I either set them with just like a normal brow gel. I feel like any brow gel is good. I used to use the one by Eyeko that was just like a clear brow gel. Now I have this one which is brow gel Style and Define in it. Why can I not talk today? So this one's tinted. It is pretty dark, so honestly I only really use it when I'm doing like quite a evening look, like a more of a dramatic look, because it does come out dark. But I will just wipe a lot of it off and use it with a very light hand. It really does define your brows though, so it is good. So that's the brows done. And then moving on to eyes. So I feel like when you're pale, cooler tones don't look as good on the eyes. Personally, that's how I feel. I think warmer tones suit our complexion so much more, just help warm it up, complement the bronzer we've just put on, the blusher, bring everything together. So I tend to, like, 90% of the time go for a warm eye look. I also wear eyeshadow every day. I know a lot of people only wear eyeshadow as like an evening out kind of thing. I don't think it looks too much at all in the day if you do it right, and personally I think for paler skin it really helps make you look more alive, again, as I said before. So I'll show you what I do in the day, and then I'll show you what I do as more of like, not an evening look, but if I wanted to glam up a little bit. So I actually just got sent this palette from MAC, so I want to try it out. It is called, I don't know what this is called. I will link it down below though. But it's got these colours in it. Obviously it's got this orange and gold, which are perfect. So basically, I think it's so easy to think that orange, like this kind of orange, is like, oh my god, that's going to look ridiculous. It really won't. It's just all about having a light hand. So I will literally go in with an orange like this, and I just focus it on this brow bone here, like this, the harder bit above your crease. So just go really lightly on that, and then before you get too heavy, put the rest of the product on the other side,
again really, really lightly, and then just come back and blend it. If you have a warm hair colour like me, then this is going to complement your hair as well. So as you can see, it's not kind of like an eyeshadow look, it's more just, you can also do this with bronzer by the way, if you don't have an eyeshadow to hand. If I'm like trying to be low maintenance and I've gone to my friends to stay over or something, I'll just use a bronzer. So yeah, I do that every single day. I always have eyeshadow on. I will take eyeshadow over eyeliner any day. So yeah, that's what I would do for that. But then I usually, if I'm trying to look a little bit more glam, if I'm going out to shoot or something like that, then I will wear a little bit more makeup. So I'll show you what I do. So I bought this probably a couple of months ago now. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk quad like eyeshadow. I don't rate it at all, I'll be honest. I spent a lot of money on it, so I keep using it. But the pigments in it are not great. The glitter overpowers the pigment. However, if you use it with Max Fix Plus or some kind of like setting spray, it works and it does look good. So I'm not kind of showing you this as in I think you should go buy it. I don't really recommend it, but if you have any eyeshadow palettes that this happens with, that you don't really rate the pigment, use Fix Plus. Spray Fix Plus straight onto your brush and then go into your eyeshadow and it will come out so much more pigmented. I have been recently obsessed with the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette, so definitely recommend that. I've done a look on my Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram on screen in case you don't follow me. Otherwise, I use literally things like NYX palettes, Lottie palettes. So this, for example, is Lottie London. I absolutely love Lottie London stuff. Their eyeshadow palettes are so pigmented and they are literally so cheap. Like, I would rate this over this. And I would use like that gold shade in the middle and mix it maybe with like this one or this one, depending on how I feel. 3 main brushes that I really recommend for eyeshadow is 1 flat brush, really necessary, 1 pencil brush, so necessary, and then 1 blending brush. I have loads more, but those are like the 3 essentials. So I'm gonna just go in with this colour up here, which is kind of like a champagne-y, basically a champagne-y colour, and I'm not putting any Fix Plus. I'm just using the flat pencil brush to pack on the colour. So I'm pressing quite hard as well. That's how it comes out, pressing pretty much as hard as I can with just 1 layer. If I then go in with the Fix Plus, so literally just spray the Fix Plus directly onto the brush, then go in with that same side onto the pigment and pack that on again. You can see how much more pigmented that came out. I bring it into the corner of the eyes and just a tiny bit under on this lower lash line. So then that might be enough if it's like still a day look and I just wanted a little bit of extra. Or if I'm going more intense, then I will get a darker shadow. So then I'm gonna go in this Lottie palette here with this shade and then get it in right into your crease and the kind of outer corner, because that's where you want to put the darker shadows. And then like you can literally use the same brush and blend that all out. If you've got hooded eyes like me, I blow it out a bit, kind of bring it up, because obviously when your eyes are relaxed you can't see it as much. So I bring it just that little bit higher. If you haven't got hooded eyes, you don't really need to do this. Then this is where the pencil brush comes in. So this is a tip for everyone, but if you're fair, important. So go with the darkest brown you've got. Basically, the fairer you are, the more harsh anything black is going to look on your face. But I often use like a dark eyeshadow as kind of an eyeliner, because the softer it is on a paler complexion, it's just going to look nicer. It's not going to be too harsh. First of all, I always do the lower lash line like this. If I do use an eyeliner, like a brown eyeliner, I'll do that first, run it along the edge, and then I will blend it out with a pencil always. So just kind of like line the lashes as you would an eyeliner. Just get like close as you can to the lashes, just on the outer corner. And then you can like blend it all together, and it just like gives a little bit of definition on the lash line. So my biggest top tip for fair skin or fair hair, line your upper waterline. Like, I cannot recommend it enough. So basically it's kind of like there is an act to it and it does take some getting used to, but you just put the pencil on it, and I just don't ever look at where you're going with the pencil, just look the opposite way, just wiggle it along. I just personally think it makes such a difference. Try it on yourself, you'll be able to see a lot better than I'm showing you the difference. I know this makes some people feel sick, so I do apologise. Then again, if it's more of a day look, I will just use a kohl and run it along the top and sometimes wing it out a little bit and then blend with the pencil brush. Again, this is like a way softer eye look, it's way more flattering. However, sometimes I do just fancy a flick, and when I'm doing a flick I will use a black eyeliner. I just think brown eyeliner doesn't cut it. If you're doing a flick, you're doing it to have that sharp cut, like could cut someone kind of like flick. So if you're doing that, go for black, just go all out. So all that's left to talk about is one mascara. So I have two. This one is a brown one. This is by Maybelline. It's called Total Temptation Deep Cocoa. If I was doing like a really soft makeup look, or I literally just wanted like, I don't know, I was gonna say if I was going to the gym, but I probably just wouldn't wear any makeup, but say I was just going somewhere like the gym, I just wanted a flick of mascara, then I'd use a brown 100%, because you haven't got the other eye makeup on, so a black's gonna look super, super harsh. However, with a whole eye makeup look on, I want my lashes to stand out, so I want a black one. Also, this one is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and it's honestly so, so good. So if you've got fair hair and your lashes are fair, first of all, I tint mine with the same brow and eyelash tint. I think it's just a brow, it's called brow tint, but it's all the same. Try and get your mascara all the way into your roots, like really get in there and wiggle it, because if you don't get into the roots and you just kind of put your mascara on the ends, then you're gonna have kind of like where your lashes are fair, you're gonna be able to see that. Again, that's not what we want. That's why we do the whole eyeliner thing, to try and avoid that whole situation. By the way, look how good this mascara is. I'm obsessed with it, it's so good. So that is how I do my eyes, full eye makeup look. And then the last thing is lips. Okay, so personally for me, I obviously am quite fair and I have really quite naturally red lips. And most of the time I want to pale my lips down basically. I want them to be more pale. It just complements my skin tone better. I do think the lipstick is so personal to your skin tone and your hair tone and everything like that, so it's kind of like finding what works for you. However, I'm going to give you my recommendations. So for like the red lip, this is what I would go for. It's an orange based red. Again, I personally just think a warmer base will warm your whole face up, rather than if you go for like a cooler based red, it's gonna be a stark contrast and make you look paler. Any red, because it's such a contrast, is probably gonna make you look paler, but this is the one I used here in this image, and a lot of you were asking where it's from. So this is the Pure Colour Envy Estee Lauder Matte Sculpting Lipstick. If you did want to go for the full Snow White look, I really recommend this colour. This is the Powder Kiss Liquid Lip Colour by MAC. It's like a Snow White, like I would literally look like Snow White. It would make me look fairer, but it is like a really nice dramatic bold lip if you want that kind of vibe. However, for like day to day, what I use always, pretty much always, I absolutely love this one. Bare Minerals Bare Pro Peony Lipstick. This is kind of like a fair nude neutral lipstick, and it dries so that it's like a matte, but essentially just like mutes my lips a little bit. You might think this is too muted, sometimes it is depending on how tanned I am. And then in which case I go in with the Bobbi Brown crushed liquid lip in Light Shoe Baby. I mean, I literally use this all the time, going out, in the day, anything. This is my go-to because it's just like such a nice pinky nude. Last recommendation then is the Kat Von D Lock-It Makeup Setting Mist. I absolutely swear by this. This stuff is amazing. We'll literally glue it to your face all day long, no matter what. And I think it's better than the Urban Decay. I'm just putting it out there. So I always use this at the end. Also, reasons why this is better than the Urban Decay is because it's so fine. Like the spray is so fine, you don't feel like you're like being attacked by like a spray gun. But that is pretty much everything. So let me know if you have any questions, if I forgot to link anything, or if I missed anything that you were hoping I was going to go through. Let me know, because I can always do another video, or I can answer you in the description box down below. But I hope this was useful. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, it would mean the world to me if you could hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!